Hey, welcome to the channel. My name's Matt. This is Bask in the Story, and for Sci-Fi September, I thought I'd do 5 funny book recommendations in the sci-fi genre. So I know there's a lot of hard sci-fi, there's a lot of deep sci-fi, there's a lot of character-driven sci-fi these days, but some of it is quite thought-provoking, and sometimes you need a break from all that deep thought and that deep exploration of ideas. So these are 5 books which are amusing. Some will just bring a smile to your face. Some will hopefully make you laugh out loud. They're great breaks from your more typical, harder, deep, thoughtful sci-fi. But hopefully they'll bring a smile to your face at the very least, if not have you guffawing in the streets while you read them. I don't know why you'd be reading in the streets. Anyway, that's by the by. None of them are particularly long, so they're quite short, sharp, snappy, great palate cleansers, great for picking up when you're in a bit of a slump. So let's crack through them. And 4 of them I have read recently. One of them is an all-time classic, all-time favourite of mine, but 4 of them I've read recently, and a few of them have probably made it onto my all-time favourites as well. So where to start? That is the big question. We'll start with the book that's recently been shortlisted for the Hugos. So it could well be a Hugo winner by the end of this year. And that is John Scalzi's Kaiju Preservation Society. So this follows the main character Jamie, who basically loses his job during COVID. We have the pandemic. He's delivering food for a fast food company, or one of the delivery companies, effectively Uber Eats, but it's not Uber Eats. Anyway, by the by, he's delivering for a company. He meets an old college buddy, and the college buddy offers him a job in animal preservation, and he accepts because it's got to be better than what he's doing, and sets off, and he ends up, I think they're sending him to very north in the Arctic, and he thinks, animal preservation, big animals. He's thinking, polar bears, but it's not polar bears. In fact, he goes to an alternate world, and it's massive, great nuclear fueled monsters, kaiju, and it's about the community of people, scientists, researching them and trying to preserve them and trying to prevent them coming into our alternate world as well. It's funny, it's amusing, it's quick paced. It was written during COVID. It's deliberately written, I think it's fair to say, as something to bring joy to the reader. And certainly from the afterword by John Scalzi, he's saying this is not some great deep symphony of a work. This is a pop song. And sometimes in our lives we just need a pop song. So check it out, John Scalzi's Kaiju Preservation Society. Next we'll go for one of my personal favourites from this year, and I'm pretty sure it's made it into my top 10 of sci-fi. I might have to do that next week because it's Sci-Fi September. But it is Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. This is exceptional. This is funny. It's got great character that you follow, the main character you follow. And the way it starts is he sort of wakes up in sort of a bed. He doesn't know where he is. He doesn't know who he is. Doesn't know what's happening. He just wakes up, and it's a computer voice asking him a very simple mathematical question. I think it's what's 2 + 2. And he can't hardly speak. He doesn't know what's happened. And then from there, it just expands into this magnificent story with so much humour in it. And the humour, as with all humour, it won't hit for everyone. But if you like The Martian, which was his previous book, and also the Matt Damon film, if you like that, I think you'll love this. This is brilliant. It's just so funny, and to me this is funnier than The Martian by a long stretch. There's a fair bit of science in it, but he delivers it in such a way that the main character delivers the science in such a way that you feel engaged the whole time, and his reactions to things, and you're in his head the whole time, and it's brilliant. And there's the other thing that they'll say, there's a relationship that builds within this, which is one of the best relationships in sci-fi. So I would strongly recommend it. I'm not going to tell you more about the plot because this one you really want to go to as blind as possible. But if you have the opportunity to listen to the audiobook, which is Ray Porter who does the audiobook, then that is probably the best way to consume this, in my opinion. His performance is just magnificent. So that's the second one. Let's move on to, let's get a classic out of the way. One of my favourites, my all-time favourites, is The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Absolutely superb. It's absurd. It is absolutely absurd. If you're not into absurdity, this is not the one for you. But if you like a bit of absurdity in your fiction, this is just pure absurdity. So we follow Arthur Dent, and effectively the Earth is being destroyed to make way for a space hyperway. Is it space hyperway? Space highway? Anyway, the Earth is going to be bulldozed out of existence to make way for a highway. It turns out Arthur Dent's best friend is actually an alien from outer space, and they hitchhike on a ship, and hilarity ensues. It's ridiculous, it's preposterous. I know his humour is compared to things like people like Terry Pratchett. So I think if you've read The Discworld, you may well enjoy it, but it's not the same. As Terry Pratchett is more, the humour is more satirical leaning. There is absurdity within it, but it's more satirical leaning. Douglas Adams is more just absurd, and it's the adventures they end up on and the ridiculousness of it all. It's brilliant humour. If you like sort of British, ridiculous, absurdist humour, think Monty Python. It's not a bad example. If you like things like Monty Python, then you'll probably enjoy this as well. Absolutely superb. It's a classic. Most people know it. If you haven't read it, again, it's really short. I've got a copy up here. I mean, this is the whole lot, but the Hitchhiker's Guide itself, really short, but bloody brilliant and well worth your time. So 2 more. So let's pick the one that probably doesn't stand out as a really funny book, and it's perhaps not as laugh out loud as funny, but there's certainly some humorous aspects. It certainly brought smiles to my faces at various points, and that is The Humans by Matt Haig. This is the second book I've read by Matt Haig. I read The Midnight Library, which was mediocre. It was all right. It wasn't great. This was superb. It's funny, has some brilliant lines and some brilliant observations of what humans are like, what we are like. What this is there's a mathematician on Earth has solved some mathematical problem, and there's an alien species that are concerned that will open up the universe to humans who they believe aren't ready for that, and the universe is certainly not ready for us. So they replace this mathematician with an alien, and the alien's job is to make sure that all information about this problem that he solved is eradicated, so it's no longer solved. And he then enters the world, and his original opinions of humans and humanity are brilliant. They're funny, they're quite astute, and his disgust of the human race and the human species is palpable, but it's amusing. But then as the story develops and he gets to live with humans, he sees some of our better sides and some of our worst sides, but he gets to see what humanity is like and make a judgment. Rather than making judgment based on what he's learned in their equivalent of a classroom, he can make a judgment from actual seeing people and living with people. And it's really an observation on what it is to be human, hence the title, but it has got some really, really amusing lines that will hopefully bring a smile to your face. And if you like The Midnight Library, I think you'll love this. If you didn't like The Midnight Library, I still think you'll like this. I'm not a big fan of The Midnight Library, but this is much better. It's not the same sort of level of preachiness I found in The Midnight Library. It's worth your time if that was something that put you off of The Midnight Library. And finally, one that I've only read very recently, and there will be a review for the series coming up very shortly, and that is We Are Legion, We Are Bob by Dennis E. Taylor. So this is the first in currently 4 books. There's a 5th book coming out, and this follows our main character, Bob, who at the beginning has sold off his software company, made a huge fortune, and is now going to live the good life. And as part of that, he's bought himself basically to have himself cryogenically frozen on death, so they can bring him back to life at a future date when technology allows. And he's out celebrating this sale with his team, and the next day, bang, hit by a car, he's dead. He is cryogenically frozen. And then when he's brought back like 100 years in the future, and he doesn't have a body. It's just his mind has been brought back, and the world has changed. It's moved on dramatically in the 100 years, and he's no longer an individual. He's seen as property, so we get the dynamic. But they're looking to put him into a von Neumann probe and send him into space to then replicate around space and explore the universe, or the galaxy to start with, and then the universe as this probe and the self-replicating probe, so there can be more and more of him exploring the world for humanity. And there's several countries on Earth fighting to get the first von Neumann probes up. It's that exploration and then him going up and him cloning himself, and the series does get better as it goes along. The original trilogy I really enjoyed. We get a lot of popular culture references within this, especially if you enjoy your sort of sci-fi fantasy world in general, with that TV, film, books, etc. It's all wrapped up within this. There's lots of little comments and naming conventions and stuff that they're pulling from, and it adds a fun humour to it. What I love about the book, there's plenty of science still within. There's still plenty of science within that, but it's again handled in a humorous way. There are also big questions asked within this, and this is what I think I like about the series. Not only is it humorous, but it asks big questions. It's what is it to be human? Is the Bob that is now Probe, is that the original Bob? Is it a different Bob? Does he have a soul? If he clones himself, are the clones Bobs or are they somebody else? And these questions of what it is to be human, what it is to be an individual, what it is to have a soul, what it is to, what is religion as well? Like, does he interfere with other cultures, other alien species, and what impact that has, etc., etc., etc. So there's a lot covered off in this, but it's done in a way that will bring a smile to your face throughout. And it's brilliant. And there is a 5th book coming out soon, which is going to be called Until We Are Lost, something like that. I'm not sure on the date on that, but that should be brilliant. Again, if you want to listen to the audiobook, it's worth doing it. I think Ray Porter does these as well. I'm a big fan of Ray Porter on the audiobooks. I will say, though, if you listen to Project Hail Mary, give it some time before you listen to We Are Bob, because obviously Ray Porter uses the same main voice for both characters, which suddenly you feel like Bob is the main character in Project Hail Mary and vice versa. It got a bit confusing in my head initially. So there are 5 funny sci-fi books. They're all going to bring a smile to your face, hopefully, if not make you laugh absolutely out loud and look like a crazy person, especially if you're listening to them and you're on the tube or out in public. But I hope you have that joy as well. I certainly have. These are also excellent palate cleansers, so if you've been really delving into some of the harder sci-fi, these will just give you that nice refresh to get back into it again. If you've read some of these, let me know in the comments. If there's other funny, amusing sci-fi that you think I should pick up, please do let me know. Please do let me know some recommendations. I'm always looking for something to make myself laugh. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I try and do 2 videos a week. Normally on a Monday is a book review. On the Friday is normally a bit more broader bookish content like this. If you did enjoy it, please do like, comment, subscribe. It'd be wonderful to have you join the channel. And I will speak to you in the next one. Bye. A Hugo nominated book that's just been out this year in hard scientific fiction. And I hope to see you in the next one, where we do videos. We do videos generally Monday.